Peppa Pig, Granny Pig's Chickens. Peppa and George are very excited. Tonight they are sleeping at Granny and Grandpa Pig's house. Peppa and George take a look at their bedroom.
It was your mummy's room when she was a little piggy,
Granny Pig explains. Out in the garden, Grandpa Pig proudly shows Peppa and George the vegetables he has grown. But there is a bare patch of earth where Grandpa's lettuces ought to be.
Meet Jemima, Sarah and Vanessa,
says Granny Pig, as 3 hens come to peck at the bare earth.
Those hens ate my lettuces,
complains Grandpa Pig. Peppa and George give the chickens some corn and lead them back towards the chicken house. Neville the cockerel comes over to see what is happening.
"Cock-a-doodle-doo!"
he crows.
"Doo!"
says George.
"Let's see if the chickens have a surprise for us in the morning,"
says Granny Pig. At bedtime, Peppa and George climb into Mummy Pig's old bed. It is very bouncy and comfy, and they sleep soundly until morning, when...
Cock-a-doodle-doo!
They are woken by Neville the cockerel's loud cock-a-doodle-doo. Peppa and George quickly get dressed and race outside to the chicken house. They peep inside.
"There are 4 eggs in this straw,"
says Peppa.
"Well done, Jemima, Sarah and Vanessa,"
says Granny Pig.
"That's 1 egg each for breakfast." "Thank you for waking us up, Neville,"
says Peppa.
"Cock-a-doodle-doo!"
he crows.
"Doo!"
says George.
"And thank you, hens, for our breakfast,"
Peppa says. Peppa carefully carries the eggs inside, using Granny Pig's basket.
"Boiled eggs for everyone,"
calls Granny Pig when breakfast is ready. Peppa and George are hungry after all that running about and egg collecting.
"Granny, your chickens lay yummy eggs,"
Peppa says. Granny Pig explains that the corn Peppa and George fed the hens makes the eggs taste good.
"The eggs taste even better because Granny Pig's hens ate my lettuces,"
grunts Grandpa Pig. And everyone laughs, even Grandpa Pig. The end. Peppa Pig, Granny Pig's Perfume. Peppa and George are visiting Granny and Grandpa's house. Peppa is watching Granny Pig at her dressing table.
"You smell nice, Granny,"
says Peppa.
"Thank you,"
says Granny Pig.
"It's my perfume, the lavender."
Granny Pig's perfume smells like her garden.
"Perfume is made of flowers,"
Granny Pig tells Peppa. Peppa asks for a glass of water.
"Now I'm going to put flowers in it and make perfume,"
she says. George comes to see what Peppa is doing in the garden.
"I'm making perfume,"
she says.
"It's going to be the prettiest, smelliest perfume ever."
George wants to watch Peppa making perfume.
"First, I pick a smelly flower," says Peppa, "then I put it in my beaker."
George sniffs Peppa's perfume.
Yuck!
George does not like smelly flowers. Grandpa Pig is in his herb garden.
"Smell this," says Peppa. "Ew,
snorts Grandpa Pig.
It smells like pond water.
Peppa explains that the smell is her special perfume. Grandpa Pig takes another sniff.
Oh yes, he decides. It is the most beautiful perfume in the world.
George still does not like Peppa's flower perfume.
Take this bucket, says Grandpa Pig. You can make perfume out of something else.
There are lots of lovely smelly things in Grandpa Pig's herb garden.
This is rosemary,
says Grandpa Pig.
I like to use it in my cooking.
Sniffs Peppa.
It smells interesting.
Ugh, splutters George. George still hasn't made any perfume. He doesn't like the smell of anything.
There must be something that you like the smell of,
says Grandpa Pig. George goes off to find a muddy puddle. He fills up his bucket. George runs back. He gives the bucket to Granny Pig to sniff.
Actually, she says, that smells quite nice. It smells lovely, agrees Peppa.
Grandpa Pig sniffs George's bucket.
I say,
he snorts,
that is delightful. What did you put in the perfume, George?
asks Grandpa Pig. George runs back to the muddy puddle.
George's perfume is made out of muddy puddles,
giggles Peppa.
Ah,
says Granny Pig.
Perfume the muddy puddle.
Peppa, George, Granny Pig and Grandpa Pig all jump in the muddy puddle.
Granny Pig, snorts Peppa. You smell even nicer than you did before.
Grandpa Pig agrees. Maybe Granny Pig should wear Perfume the Muddy Puddle more often. The end. Peppa Pig, My Granny.
My name is Peppa, and this book is all about my granny. She is the best granny in the whole world, and she smells lovely too. My granny is an amazing babysitter. If we aren't feeling sleepy, she lets us play games. When she goes out, my granny always wears her favourite hat. Even when she's splashing in muddy puddles. My granny likes to fill her garden with nice plastic things. But my grandpa isn't quite so keen. My granny loves talking to her pet parrot Polly. Even when she grunts like a noisy little piggy. My granny takes us on all sorts of days out. We like Pirate Island the best. Sleepovers at my granny's house are lots of fun. Every morning, her chickens lay eggs for our breakfast. My granny is a brilliant cook. She always bakes enough for everyone.
The end. Granny and Grandpa Pig's attic. Peppa and George are at Granny and Grandpa Pig's house.
Hello, my little ones,
calls Granny Pig.
Why is Granny on the roof?
asks Peppa.
We're tidying the attic,
says Grandpa Pig.
The attic is where old things are kept.
Granny and Grandpa Pig's attic is at the very top of the house. The door to the attic is in the ceiling.
Wow!
How do we get up there? Asked Peppa. You climb up a ladder, Peppa. I'll send it down, says Granny Pig. The attic is dark and dusty. Granny, there are boxes everywhere, cries Peppa. They're full of old junk, says Granny Pig. Peppa and George are here to help us throw some things out, says Grandpa Pig. How about this box, says Granny Pig, pulling out a ship in a bottle. Then she pulls out another ship in a bottle. The box is full of ships in bottles. No, cries Grandpa Pig. I need them all. Well, we have to throw something out, says Granny Pig. Grandpa Pig finds a box of hats. Not my hats, says Granny Pig. They can't decide what to throw out. I know, says Granny Pig. We'll let Peppa and George decide. Peppa spots something on the floor. Let's throw away this old case, she says. Not that one, cried Granny and Grandpa Pig. Grandpa Pig opens the case and shows Peppa and George what's inside. It's a record player, says Grandpa Pig.
Wow!
Record players are used to play music, explains Granny Pig. Grandpa Pig puts a record on and music starts to play. Come on, Peppa, George, let's dance, says Grandpa Pig. Dancing in the attic is fun, cries Peppa. When Mummy Pig arrives to pick up Peppa and George, she looks around but can't find anyone. Then she hears noise coming from the top of the house. Mummy Pig climbs the ladder. There you all are, she cries. Mummy, look at this record player, says Peppa. I used to play this record when I was little, says Mummy Pig. It's called Birdie Birdie Woof Woof. I thought it had been thrown out ages ago. Everyone sings along with the record. The birds go woof, the dogs go tweet, woof tweet, woof tweet, woof woof woof. The sheep go moo and the cows go baa, moo ba moo moo moo. Birdie Birdie Woof Woof is a very funny song. That was fun, says Grandpa Pig, but we were supposed to be finding things to throw out. You should keep everything, decides Peppa. Everyone agrees that that's a very good idea. The end.
Hi kids, did you have fun watching this video? Then like and subscribe for more.